This is sports stuff, betting stuff.
I'm excited. It's a better week.
It is. It was a better week all around, I think.
I was curious, if Alex was going to pop in with the ka-chow.
I let it go. I don't know. It was a little iffy, so we might have to move on from it.
I respect you.
We all have at least winning records of 500 or above.
From last week, I'm still climbing a mountain.
We'll get to that. This is Sports Stuff Betting Stuff, the number one sports betting podcast coming out of the Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff Enterprise. I am your host, the original degenerate Muff, joined by
the Ohio Homer, Jim,
and your real medical degenerate, Alex.
We are.
I like when you're the medical degenerate and you're wearing scrubs. It adds authenticity.
Right. As a reminder, everybody, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, whatever you choose to listen to, reminder, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Sports Stuff, W/Jim Ampersand Muff. Goal is 100 subscribers before the end of the month.
We're climbing. That's another one of those mountains.
Prizes to come if you're a subscriber.
All right.
So the format for any new listeners, we will talk about last week's best bets, go through our slates, how we did. We'll go through our specialty picks, then we'll go over the college football and NFL slates and talk about this week's best bets and special picks. That we will. So last week in the betting world, we're going to let those that did better go first. So we'll go Alex, Jim, and then me.
Go for it, Alex.
All right. So this past week I had Tennessee minus. No, I didn't. That's this week's. Sorry, it's been a long day. Last week I had Washington minus 2.5 at UCLA, which was my first bet of the week, and it was a loss. Made me a little nervous for how we were going to go forward, but Iowa State at Kansas. Kansas covered +3 with a win. Kentucky covered +6.5 at Ole Miss and got me a win, and Duke covered -3.5 against Virginia and got me a win. Going into the NFL, we had the Dolphins at the Bengals, and I took the Dolphins +3.5, which was a loss. The Vikings covered -2.5 at the Saints for the win. In London, the Seahawks at Lions. Lions did not cover -4.5. That was a loss. And the Raiders covered -2.5 versus the Broncos for a win.
Not bad.
5-3.
5-3, the winner of the week.
I'll for sure take it.
So then I took Bama -17.5 over Arkansas. Hit it. Michigan State at Maryland. I took Maryland -7.5. Hit it. And then the double bet, I took with the Seahawks and the Lions. I took the Lions -4.5. Lost, but hit the over at 48.5.
You hit that over in the third quarter, I think.
I was very pleased. Lost the Steelers game. Lost the over in the Ravens game with the Bills, which that was probably my biggest heartbreak. Really thought I was going to hit that one. And then tailing Muff, I hit that Cards moneyline dog at the Panthers.
Indeed. Jim at 4-3. I come in at 4-4 this week. Kentucky +6.5 versus Ole Miss was a win. Iowa, Michigan over 42.5 was a loss. That was a contrary pick to what people would think, but it was definitely alive for a majority of the game. Michigan.
Yeah, I agree.
Michigan settled for 2 field goals after deep drives, which was the killer for that. I think the total was 42, but Iowa had a garbage time touchdown in there. So that was the one I was watching. I was like, this could have easily gone the other way, but it was a loss nonetheless. Bama -17.5 versus Arkansas was a win. Our guys, Coastal Carolina, they won, but not by 10.5 plus points. So that was a loss for me. Giants -3.5 versus the Bears was a win. At this point, you may as well just fade the Bears every week until something breaks there. Cards at Panthers, Cards moneyline dog. That was a win. And I ended with the Sunday afternoon game, Packers -9.5 versus the Patriots. A loss. Packers win, but only by 3. I was 4-4, 500. Which brings our running best bets records. Alex and I are both at 500. I'm at 15-15. Alex is at 20-20, and Jim still bringing up the rear, but improving. Now 16.
Things are going up.
Now 16-24.
Things are going up.
Yeah, you can only improve, Jim,
I feel good things.
and you're not gonna be able to do it all in 1 week. So just keep plugging.
That's right. And I might do it in 1 week. Who knows?
It's possible, not likely, but possible.
Right.
On our specialty picks, the Mike Allstott hit stick pick of the week.
Pow, pow, pow.
Steelers -3 versus Jets was a loss, which brings the record for that to 1-4. Which
Yeah,
is,
Mike Allstott is down.
Yeah, Mike Allstott's not bumbling, stumbling down the field right now. He's hit some resistance and some log jams. He's kind of like that runner on the field at the Rams game.
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner is truck sticking him to the ground.
Yeah, we might need to change this to the Bobby Wagner pick to boost things.
Maybe after this week, if it's a loss, we need to reconsider. I think just
Mm-hmm.
to change up the luck that we've got going into this. Interesting. I heard that gentleman who was hit stick by Bobby Wagner is now suing him.
Well, no, he pressed charges. He's not suing him.
Okay, he just pressed charges for
Yeah.
what? Assault.
Assault, brother.
You were trespassing.
Yeah.
Like no warning shots, you know?
Well,
I agree.
This is do not trespass. Beware of NFL players.
Beware of Bobby Wagner.
The newly renamed Neil Brown risky pick of the week.
What was the sound effect?
Was
Oh,
a win this week. Cards money line versus the Panthers, which brings that to 2-3. Again, the risky pick of the week has to be a money line dog.
I'm feeling good about the Neil Brown pick. I feel like we've got good things going. It's supposed to be not the good one, but for some reason it is the good one.
It is. And Alex, are you still okay with the Neil Brown moniker?
Yeah, I'm just still trying to get him out of there. So
Okay. Alex is still.
Really.
And the Muff Parlay of Death, the much disputed Muff Parlay of Death this week, was not a win. So that's to 0-4. But again, this is a 4-leg parlay, so we don't expect this to win every week. We had wins in the Giants to cover versus the Bears and Maryland to cover against Michigan State. The loss that was made this okay to me in the end was the Steelers -3 versus the Jets. That was a loss, obviously. The Jets went outright. And the Lions -4.5 versus the Seahawks was a loss. And if the Steelers would have won and the Lions would have lost this, I would have potentially lost my top.
Yeah, but you can't because your Steelers lost. So
I can still be upset.
No, let's move on.
Okay. More to come on that this week. We'll see if we have any spite picks at play. What's the Muff Parlay of Death sound effect, Alex? Is it bum bum bum? Is that it?
It was like dun 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 dun. I don't know.
Dun, 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 dun.
Alex is not given 100%. He's at work.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to type up a note about how I sewed some guy's face back together. But I'm doing my best to multitask.
Oh goodness. Can the Muff Parlay of Death be like the Terminator? Dun, 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 dun.
Dum, 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 dum.
Is that okay? We go with that?
Sure.
All right. Which brings us to this week in college football. We're going to go over many games, give our thoughts here. I'm not sure. Let me look real quick, see where everybody is. Looks like we're not so heavy on the college this week, which is
Well, I got a lot of games I want to talk out, and then
Mhm.
I'll make my decision. My college games I have some. It's going to determine if I want to go shotgun blasting or not, based on what you guys say.
So overall, now I don't have the stats here, but this is pretty apparent. I think week to week, we do better in college football
No,
collectively.
sure. I've been doing well in NFL.
So I think collectively our records are better in college. If I were to go back, I think I could prove that, but I'm not too worried about that just yet. So the college football lines we're looking at this week: Houston at Memphis. Memphis -3 over under 57.5.
I really want to take Memphis.
I do too. I looked at this one pretty closely.
Is this an anti-Dana Holgerson pick?
I'm not a big fan of what Houston's doing. I think I've said that in a couple episodes. And I think Memphis is always decent. It's a leaner for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Memphis hasn't looked bad. Houston hasn't looked great, but I'm not committing to it.
This week I will support the anti-Dana Holgerson because I'm wearing my West Virginia Pat McAfee jersey.
That you are.
They're on a bye, aren't they?
Yes.
And
That's
is it
still-
Penn State?
Yes, also.
So the two shitty coaches are on a bye.
One is undefeated, but sure.
What, you're going to dispute that Neil Brown's not a shitty coach? That's what
Oh,
I
no.
said, Alex.
Did you really think that's what I was just? That was not what I was talking about whatsoever.
All right.
All right, so I'm staying away from that. Number 17 TCU at number 19 Kansas. The game day game in Lawrence. TCU -7 over under 68.5.
I shied the hell away from this. I wanted Kansas. I know Alex has got something to say about it, but I cut out of this one.
I really want to because they haven't let me get. They have not let me down yet. But TCU is rolling right now.
Yes, they're very hot.
Yeah. For me in this game, I do want to watch it. It's a noon kick, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I think this is like all of the storylines, right? TCU coming off a big win against Oklahoma, but you also can all get on the flip side and say Oklahoma was without their number one QB for the majority of that game. So was TCU just capitalizing on the emotional downfall of Oklahoma last week?
And how real is Kansas?
And yeah, the next side, how real is Kansas? Yes, they are undefeated. Yes, they are ranked. This is the first, I would say, real test to their season. Playing another ranked team, hosting a big game, having game day. This could, come out guns blazing and go up early, or this could be a letdown. And I don't want to be any side of that, so I just want to watch it.
Yeah.
Next, we have Texas at Oklahoma State.
No. You don't get to run by this. Alex may be working, but I want to know what Alex is doing with this game.
Part of me wants to go with my loyalty and add Kansas, but I don't know that I want to put my money where my mouth is.
I need a decision,
lean.
sir.
It's a lean. Give me time.
Okay.
Texas at Oklahoma. Texas at Oklahoma. Texas -7 over under 65.5.
This is more of a lean for me, and I want Texas.
I want Texas, but I don't know if it's not an overreaction to Oklahoma getting stomped by TCU.
I don't even care. I just really want to see Oklahoma just get like their comeuppance.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to bet it.
Right. But is Texas that team to do it though?
And it's a spike pick, so that's why I'm not doing it. But
it's a rivalry game, right? The Red River rivalry.
Yeah.
So a lot of emotions high. There's a lot of reasons for both teams to come to play. Another interesting game to watch in my mind. I'm going to stay away.
Yeah.
Next, we have Missouri at Florida. Florida -10.5 over under 54.5. Right. So Missouri coming off a great game, great competitive game versus the former number one team in the land, Georgia, but didn't come out with a win. Florida, right, has a win against Utah to their credit.
It's in the swamp,
right? Which we've said at this point, they've only had one away game, I think.
I know they have not had many. And on paper, this makes me want to jump Florida -10.5, but that's a big spread. So I think I'm going to stay away from this altogether.
Yeah, I'm staying away too. It's 10.5, right? If it's below 10, I might think about it, but 10.5.
Honestly, if it was 9.5, I'd probably think pretty hard about adding it. But
yeah.
What do we think about the under here?
It's also possible.
That's what I'm flirting with.
Right. It's interesting. I don't know enough about Missouri, and I didn't track their games. Obviously they were able to put up points against Georgia, albeit many times in form of field goal. Do those drives against Florida become touchdowns? And is the over under then turn into the over just because?
I think Georgia played flat. I watched a big chunk of that game. Georgia played flat. Their defense didn't seem like they were clicking. I don't think that was any testament to Missouri so much as Georgia. I think I have a big inclination that Florida kind of punches Missouri in the mouth for a little bit, but Missouri keeps Florida in check, which is why I'm hitting, like, I lean towards the under.
Okay. That's fair. I have no way to dispute that
I don't
lean.
think that. Yeah, I don't think that the under is really a bad take here. I'm not going to do it, but I don't fault you for doing it.
Jim, not a big under guy. I like it.
Yeah, I know. I don't like taking unders. I don't think there's fun to root for is the problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4, Michigan at Indiana. Michigan minus 22.5, over under 58.5.
I put it on there to just kind of spark Muff. I want to know what Muff's take is on Michigan at this point. And do you think Michigan will cover?
I think this is a bounce back game for Michigan. They were in a competitive game against Iowa. We all know Iowa has a great defense. Michigan was still able to come out on top. Indiana, notoriously bad defense at Indiana, is not the same as playing at Iowa. So if I were going to lean, I would lean Michigan to cover, just based on Indiana's performance.
Okay. You heard it on the betting show, folks.
But not going to do anything with it. Number 8, Tennessee at LSU. Tennessee minus 3, over under 64.5 points. This is sexy, right? You should want to be on Tennessee, but I have
Tennessee.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
So that is where I bet a lot of the public money is going to go. I bet there's some sharps waiting in the wings to hammer LSU plus the points and even sprinkle on LSU money line. I've seen a lot coming out about LSU's improvement over their first 4 games.
Yeah,
and
Tennessee's looking good
at LSU. The original Death Valley, right?
I like the under here.
Ooh,
really?
Great tell.
I think this is another slugfest. I don't think, yes, Tennessee is good, but I don't see a lot of points coming out of them. And I don't think LSU has a high-powered offense. I think Tennessee wins. I almost want to bet Tennessee and the under. Let me see LSU's score. Yeah, I don't know. Like, LSU, yeah, I don't think they hit it. I honestly don't think they hit the over.
That's one take, and again, not going to dispute it. I just give my thoughts. Obviously, I'm at 500, so my thoughts should not be taken as expert opinion.
38. So what would that have to be between the two of them?
You're looking at a 34-31 game is kind of what they're projecting.
Ooh, maybe. Damn. All right, I'm gonna scratch all that. Ignore that.
Yeah, I don't like
Ignore that.
much.
That was not a good take.
If I were you and I was encouraging you to take one of the unders, I would take the Florida game under.
I was looking at that. I didn't know that Tennessee scored as many points as they had. I didn't realize what the score was of that Pitt game. Like, that's the one I was basing it off of, that 34-27 game. I was like, well, Tennessee and Pitt. But then they had 38-33 against Florida. Yeah, don't take the under. I take that all back. However, I'm with Alex on Tennessee minus 3. Can't believe I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hammer that home. Son of a bitch, Alex.
Arkansas at 23, Mississippi State. Mississippi State minus 8.5, over under 59.5. Arkansas obviously coming off a competitive game against Alabama that saw them come back and then Alabama pull away with their backup quarterback, but he wasn't doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. That was the running game. At Mississippi State ranked in an SEC showdown.
That's a spike pick for me, is why I put it on here. I want Arkansas to hit real bad. Real bad.
What are you spiting?
I'm spiting the fact that they lost.
Okay.
Alabama, and I want them to be like returned back from glory. They beat Mississippi State. Mississippi State beat Texas A&M.
Okay.
I just want that all to come full circle. Like, I want them to return back to glory. It's an emotional thing. Fuck Jimbo Fisher. Whoops, I don't know. Sorry, didn't mean to put that on this show. That's how I.
It's one click of the button. Explicit content done.
Yeah, sorry about that, but this is definitely a spite pick between those three teams.
That's fair. Number 11 Utah at number 18 UCLA. Utah minus 3.5 over under 64.5. UCLA coming off a good performance. Utah.
Yeah.
Utah is being Utah now.
I know. I really like Utah.
I'm sending it.
I have my problem is I do really like it, but it's like on my differential. But I have other bets too that I like a lot. So I don't know.
I'm sending it.
I don't know how big I want my slate to get this week.
I'm concerned about Utah traveling in this game. That's my concern. Right? They traveled to another ranked. They traveled to Florida. That did not go well. Granted, I don't think that UCLA's home turf is the same as the Swamp, but that's why I'm going to stay away. Is the home field advantage for UCLA? I don't know how much that accounts for in points.
This is my first one. This was for sure my first bet. I'm hammering home, so I don't.
Right.
You're not. Nobody could sway me off this one.
All right. Texas Tech at number 7 Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State minus 9.5 over under 69.5. This is a Big 12 number over under 69.5.
I really like Oklahoma State. I'm just skittish on Big 12 games. I don't think Texas Tech is good. I really like this game a lot, but I'm because of the way we got burnt and the hell week. I'm not gonna bet that game. Like, I'm shying away still.
Yeah, I would lean Oklahoma State to cover.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I'm with you on the leaning Oklahoma State to cover. They've looked pretty good so far as well. They're showing themselves as top of the pack in the Big 12 up there with, I'd say, really at this point, them, TCU. Baylor doesn't look really great. Oklahoma,
Kansas,
really Oklahoma, Texas. I mean,
Kansas.
I think Kansas is going to struggle against some of these other teams. Like, I think Kansas is going to have a great season for Kansas, but if I'm being realistic, I think they're going to lose to like the Oklahoma States.
Yeah. Once they get into the meat of that schedule, they're gonna.
And that's why I'm nervous about taking him this week. And I don't think I'll actually put it as a best bet. I might sprinkle a little money on the side on it for fun because I want to bet Kansas, but I don't know that I want to make it part of my record for best bets.
Auburn at number 2, Georgia. Georgia favored by 29.5. The over under line 49.5.
Thank you.
That's a big line. I don't hate Auburn to cover that.
I think it's a trap. Like, I think it's so sexy, like, to grab Auburn because it's like, well, Georgia and Missouri and we should all bet Auburn. And I think Georgia's going to go out there and beat the doors off of Auburn.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think we're on different wavelengths there whenever I said that's a big line.
It's Auburn, right? It's at Georgia. They're projecting like a 30 to 35 to or 30 38 to 10. It's about what that line adds up to all said and done. That's within the realm, right? Georgia could easily put up that many points, and they're most likely going to hold Auburn, who's been a struggling offense. Who recall Auburn's game against Penn State? I think Georgia has a superior defense to Penn State, and Penn State was able to keep them in check real hard.
If Auburn does, like, if Georgia can't cover that, I think Georgia's exactly what I said on Monday's show. I think they're in trouble, and they're not the Golden Gods I made them out to be in the beginning.
Yeah. So I'm staying away. I just be an interested observer to this whole situation, just to see. I mean, I agree with Jim. It's going to be a telling sign, I think, for Georgia for the rest of the SEC slate. Next, we have number 3, Ohio State at
You missed
Michigan
the
State.
word. You missed a word.
I just see a high.
I did the notes.
Right. I see it. Oh, gone. Look at that.
I don't see anything.
Number 3, Ohio State
Ohio
at
State
Michigan
too.
State. Ohio State minus 26.5 over under 64.5.
So for the first time all year for the betting show, I'm gonna come out and say Ohio State covers.
I do like Ohio State in this game.
Yeah.
I've never felt that way all year.
Mhm.
I'm pretty confident Ohio State covers that.
Right. This all adds up, right? Michigan State, terrible down year for
Mhm.
them. It's at Michigan State, but I don't think that provides much solace for
No.
for Sparty in this one.
No. And again, I'm with Alex. I never bet on my team, so it was very hard to take that off there because I am almost 99% sure they cover.
I'm gonna actually add that. I'm actually gonna go for this, Jim.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure that, and it's been a long day, but the receiver, they're gonna get that star receiver back this week too, which I wouldn't start him,
right. No reason to this week.
but they're gonna cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that to my slate. Ohio State to cover in this game.
Yeah.
Next we have 21 Washington at Arizona State. Washington favored by 13.5. The line is set at 57.5.
I don't want to stay up late enough to watch.
This is
Oh, no. I won't get foiled by Washington again.
yeah,
I lost my trust.
I mean, right, everything adds up to pick Washington in this game. It's 13.5 at Arizona. It's Arizona State. Granted, it's at Arizona State, but I don't think that plays much into my thoughts. But I'm gonna stay away just because I don't want Washington to bite me in the bum.
Good idea.
South Carolina at number 13, Kentucky. Kentucky favored by 9.5 over under 49.5.
I'm flirting with this game. That spread's high, but South Carolina sucks.
Yeah, this is a tale of I don't know enough about South Carolina. Like I can look at their record, I can look at their scores, but Kentucky not doing much throwing the ball. So this is one of those. South Carolina is able to force Will Levis into tossing the ball 25, 30 times. I think South Carolina can stay competitive.
All right, talk me out of it. Thank you, Muff.
For now, later on, you'll be like, really?
No, it's gone.
What about the
Gone.
under?
The under?
Mhm.
Again, if I don't know enough about South Carolina to put anything good in there, I'm just projecting how I think South Carolina can be competitive in this game.
I got you.
Yeah, it could be a dog fight. It could be I'm not gonna say a scoring fest, but Kentucky could put up points and South Carolina could stay close enough to make that hit the over.
Yeah, I hear you.
Washington State at number 6, USC. USC favored by 13.5 over under 65.5. This to me is a telling line in how Vegas feels about USC. Washington State, to me, traveling to USC should be able to win this by 3 touchdowns. But
Washington State's not bad.
Yeah, they're not terrible.
Yeah, but this is still a team that USC, as a almost top 5 team at this point, should be able to handily take advantage of. So I'm staying away just because, again, I don't want to stay up to watch it. And number 2, something about that line just seems fishy to me.
Agreed.
Number 20, Kansas State at Iowa State. Kansas State -2 over under 45.5. Hammer. K-State.
You didn't. Oh, you did. Cool. I've been waiting to hear what Alex does on this one because this is going to be my one Big 12 bet of the week.
Kansas State came out with these high hopes. They had a couple disappointing games early on, but they're finally starting to hit their form. Have looked a lot better the last couple games. I think it just took a little bit of that gelling, and they've looked good. Iowa State really hasn't done much to impress me. I like Kansas State a lot in this game.
All right. Well, that's what we're doing.
I like it. I'm not going to tail it, but I like it.
I'm going to tail it. I was waiting to tail this and hear what Alex had to say.
Yeah. Number 16, BYU at Notre Dame. Notre Dame minus 3.5 over under 50.5. Notre Dame getting the advantage in this game.
Probably the most interesting of the slate as far as what Vegas is saying. What do you all think, please?
I want to take BYU to be honest, but I'm not going to take either. I don't think. But BYU plus 3.5 is enticing to me.
Yeah, it's for me, right? Staying away. BYU is traveling across the country for this game at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is showing some promise, but is that going to be fulfilled against a ranked opponent? We've seen what they did against Ohio State, a ranked opponent. Granted, BYU, Ohio State, totally different teams. I'm staying away because there's, to me, just too much at play that doesn't make sense to me. And if it doesn't make sense, best bet is to not bet.
Okay.
Texas A&M at number 1 Alabama. Alabama minus 23.5 over under 50.5. Jim, is this an F Jimbo Fisher situation?
I would bet it. I would hammer it, but the spike pick rule, I can't do it.
Right, Alabama, I believe. I haven't seen anything official come out. I haven't been looking much either, but what's the quarterback situation? That could influence the outcome of this game.
He doesn't want to talk about it.
Nick Saban's pulling a Bill Belichick.
He doesn't want to talk about it, Mom.
We're not going to talk about it.
Well, that was post game. We got to talk about it. Yeah, we're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about it.
Okay, number 12, Oregon at Arizona. Oregon minus 12.5 over under 69.5.
Damn it.
I want to jump on Oregon. I do, but I still don't trust Oregon's quarterback situation.
I don't think they cover. I think they win, but they won't cover.
Practicing.
What's that, Alex?
According to CBS Sports, Bryce Young is practicing.
Okay. Well, Tua was practicing too. And we saw how that ended up.
He still remains a day to day.
Okay.
I ain't touching him.
Yeah.
But the Oregon game was also enticing to me, but I think I don't trust Oregon enough.
Yeah. Purdue at Maryland. Maryland minus 3.5 over under 58.5. I am jumping on the Maryland train to cover in this game. Yes, Purdue played a good game last week, but I think Maryland, I'm going to jump on the gym train. Maryland is real enough to cover this one.
Okay, me too.
And if I'm thinking about comparatively, right? Penn State had a similar line. Penn State was favored by, I think, it was less than 7 against Purdue, and it was at Purdue. I think Maryland at home against Purdue is able to cover that line.
I don't know.
Ooh, my slate got big.
That'll happen. Any other thoughts on that one?
I don't know yet on that one. I don't know if I'm buying into the Maryland yet.
The Maryland hype. All right. Next, we have Wisconsin at Northwestern. I'm sorry, Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin at Northwestern. Wisconsin 9.5 favorites over under 44.5. Should Wisconsin be favored by that many points? It is Northwestern, don't get me wrong, but it's Wisconsin this year too.
I almost want to go with Northwestern to cover. Be honest.
Don't do it, Alex. This is my don't do it, Alex bet.
Well, I mean, the problem is I didn't feel strongly enough about it. I probably wasn't gonna. So I really want to defy you, but I don't think I'm going to.
I'm watching you put it in your best bet.
It's a leaner. It's a leaner.
Don't do it, Alex.
This is another right. Let me reposition the lean situation, Alex. Wisconsin just fired their head coach.
Yes.
That is not played out for us. So Alex could win in this situation because it's not played out for us all year.
Like they have not rallied around that as a.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying we're playing with fire. That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes I like to be burned.
Iowa at Illinois. Illinois minus 3.5 over under 36.5. I'm jumping on Illinois on this one. Everything should say not to.
No.
Illinois is a running attack. Iowa has a strong defense. Iowa showed some promise with their offensive game plan as far as opening up against Michigan. Michigan also a strong defense, but I'm a fan of Illinois. Fan of Illinois in this game. Illinois to cover.
You're on.
Any other thoughts there?
I am conflicted. It's on here, and I'm tailing you like that, but you kind of just talked me out of it.
And that's fine. This is this is only my third game. I only had 2 to start, and I pushed Ohio State in. This to me is just an opportunity, and it may backfire, and I'm okay with that.
I am shotgun blasting.
Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to me is to take the under in this game. I'm not going to, but everything plays into an under, a low scoring affair. Illinois is a run offense. Iowa's
What's the under?
36.5. It's a really low number that I don't want to mess with.
No.
But Iowa has, I think, hit every under this year.
Give me Iowa.
All right. Virginia Tech at Pitt. Pitt minus 14.5 over under 41.5.
Not touching this.
Yeah, I want no part of this.
It's not that good, but Virginia Tech's not that good either.
Yeah, Pitt hasn't proven much this year in any game. So staying away.
This game I like.
UNC at Miami, Florida. Miami minus 3.5 over just 65.5.
Hammer it home.
UNC.
Yep.
Okay, just checking. Yes, UNC plus 3.5 all day. UNC money line.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take plus 3.5 for my best bets.
Right.
But money line.
Yeah. I like your guys' confidence. I'm staying away.
Do I make more money with the money line?
Yes.
Yeah, but they have to win. They can't just cover.
Give me the money line.
I feel like you're getting off the rails a little, Jim.
Yeah.
No, I've made some strategic moves while you guys have talked. I've made some strategic moves.
Okay.
I'm okay with all this.
And last on the college slate, number 9, Ole Miss at Vanderbilt. Ole Miss minus 16.5 over under 61.5.
So, like, that would have gone off the rails for me. I was really flirting with the Ole Miss. I think that they're going to destroy Vandy. I think they'll cover. That was going to be my, like, all right, I'm shotgun blasting, put them in. But my slate and listening to you two experts, I've made some moves. I've cut them out. But that was going to be my wild card, dance with the devil move. For the listeners, Ole Miss covers.
All right. I'm not going to argue against it. Vandy is a poop team, typically, and Ole Miss is a top 10 team, so that should add up. I'm staying away, though. All right. That's our college slate. Any parting thoughts on the college games?
No.
All
I'm
right.
good with them.
Brings us to the NFL, starting with Thursday Night Football. Colts at Broncos. Broncos minus 3.5 over under 42.5. Stay away with all of the money in the world.
Colts are down.
Jonathan Taylor sucks.
No,
Russ sucks.
Jonathan Taylor's not playing.
He sucks, is what I said.
I know, but I'm saying he is not playing.
The whole game sucks.
Oh, I agree. It's gonna be a shitty ass game, but I'm telling you as a tidbit, if anyone is out there thinking about betting the Colts, keep in mind that Jonathan Taylor is not playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a rule, staying away from Thursday night games as far as best bets. I will flirt with some parlays, but as far as I'll go.
No, thank you.
In Sunday morning football, I believe. Giants at Packers. Is that the Sunday morning game?
I believe so.
Is it?
There is a Sunday morning game.
Sunday morning game.
Or was it Seahawks Saints?
Now, the Saints wouldn't play out there again, would they?
That's true. Let me do some recon on that. Packers minus 7.5 over under 40.5.
I think the Packers win this game. I don't know that they cover.
It is 9:30 a.m.
All right.
Giants, Packers. I like the Giants kind of, but I'm not going to take them. Not in London. We're
Yeah. There's a lot of variables at play. Traveling across the pond.
Yes.
I think this should be a competitive game. But one thing I will say about the Packers is that their offense is starting to come into their own now. And they've had a solid defense. So things should add up for this to be a quality game. Just staying away.
I agree. I hear you.
In Sunday normal time football, Seahawks at Saints. Saints minus
The
5.5.
Seahawks.
The Seahawks. Seahawks at the Saints. Saints minus 5.5. Over under 45.5. I'm assuming, not 45.4. Same premise.
I like the Seahawks in this game, but that is purely my Geno Smith bias speaking, so I will stay away.
Yeah, I don't want any part of this. Pain. So it's all you're gonna get by betting on this.
Yeah.
Steelers at Bills. Bills minus 14, over under 46.5.
I want to take Pickett plus 14 so bad. Talk me out of it.
Alex, it's a rookie quarterback taking on one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team.
So I shouldn't be rooting for Magic.
You should be rooting for it. I just saying don't bet it.
Okay, that's fair. Good. I needed that.
No.
Vikings, Bears.
I like the Vikings, but I'm not going to take it.
Vikings minus 7. It's the Bears, Jim.
Yeah, I'm all over this.
Yeah. It's a leaner for me. But
Yeah, give me the Vikings to cover.
Just because of my slate size.
Vikings to cover all day. This is the anti-Bears pick.
You're not allowed to have anti-picks.
Rephrase that. Continue to fade the Bears until they prove me otherwise.
Okay.
I'm not an anti-Bears person. I'm saying it's a fade. It's just
I don't have faith in them pick.
Yeah, it's a total fade of the Bears.
I like this next game a lot.
Texans at Jags. Jags minus 7, over under 43.5.
Give me the Jags minus 7.
Right? Texans haven't showed us anything.
No. And the Jags have been playing well. I never thought I would take a Jags minus 7 line. If you'd asked me that last year, I'd be like,
my slate is going to get big. It's going to be like a 12-game slate.
No, Jim, no.
You're allowed 10. Right? Wasn't that the rule?
That was the rule. And that's to protect you, Jim. To protect you. Next, we have Dolphins at Jets. Dolphins minus 3, over under 45.5.
No, thank you.
No Tua, no Dolphins.
Yeah, staying away.
Teddy. If I would be all over this if the Tua was playing, but the line would be a lot more.
Yeah, the line would probably be 7.5 plus.
Yes.
Falcons at Bucks. Bucks minus 9, over under 48.5. The Falcons are just one of those teams that I think is going to stay sneaky competitive, but not sneaky winning.
Yes, I think that this game will be like a 1 touchdown game, but I don't see it getting over that. But I don't know. But part of me is like Tom Brady could also go off.
Tom Brady could go off. They have Chris Godwin back. Mike Evans is still there.
I see people are calling him old,
and that he's getting divorced.
Yes, exactly. But two things could happen, and this is like our coaches leaving situations. He could either play pissed off, play great, or be in his head, not play very well.
Has he been on the Masked Singer yet? Is that happening right now?
I don't know. I have some football game on. UCFSMU. Is this live?
Somebody take the next game real quick for me, please.
Okay. The next game is the Lions at the Patriots. The Patriots are minus 3.5. I want to go Lions plus 3.5.
I have to.
I know.
So they're in.
My slate's also getting me. I mean, I'm not going to.
I got a 12-game slate.
I have a lot of leaners this week.
That is a live game, Alex.
Oh, nice. See, I'm watching football. I'm working, but I'm watching football.
And talking about football.
Exactly.
It's a good work day.
Next game, unless Muff has any comments on the Lions Patriots.
No, I'm staying away. I don't. What's Mac Jones got going on?
Yeah,
Is it the third string quarterback? Is it the second string quarterback? Is it Mac Jones? Who? Mac Jones?
I was going to say that. Great minds think alike.
Lions. Yes. I think the Lions are the pick I would lean towards, but I'm staying away.
The Titans at Commanders. Titans minus 2.5 over under 42.5.
One of you jabrones is taking this.
Give me Commanders. Bop, 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 bop.
Why?
Carson Wentz is due. He's due for a good game.
Yeah, and I'm the idiot.
I said he's due. I didn't say he's going to do it all season.
All right. Next.
Chargers at Brands. Chargers minus 2.5 over under 47.5. Chargers to cover.
Me too.
I mean, I know they're still out Mike Williams, correct?
And Keenan Allen, I think.
Right. But the Chargers are a superior team. Justin Herbert continues to improve his health situation. And the Browns is the Browns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that one too. It's not on my slate, but I do like it.
49ers at Panthers. 49ers minus 6.5 over under 38.5. Looking for a low scoring affair. Give me the Niners to cover.
Me
Yes,
too.
I also have the Niners to cover.
Ooh, I think we just found a pick.
I think we have.
Next, Eagles at Cardinals. Eagles minus 5.5 over under 48.5. I should be on the Cardinals plus the points, but this is I think this is going to be the start of the downfall of the Cards in their covering situation.
Give me the Eagles.
I'm shying away from this one.
Committed.
Alex is for good reason on the Eagles here. Cowboys at Rams. Rams minus 5.5 over under 43.5.
This one I won't touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah,
No.
me either.
No. I mean, Matthew Stafford has not shown us much. Cooper Rush has shown us he's undefeated as a starter. But
it's about like man.
Keep going back to that well, huh, Alex?
Yep. Well, I'm on again.
Yeah, stay away. Stay away. Bengals at Ravens. Ravens minus 3 over under 48.5.
I got the Ravens.
I see this being 48.5 looks low. I would lean with an over. I understand Jim got burnt by that last week. But yeah, the Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson still coming out with stuff to prove and did get stalled at the end of last week's game. Obviously, the Bills came back to win. Staying away, but I would lean over in this game.
I would lean Ravens with Jim, but I don't think
I'm actually going to take that game out. My slate got too big, and if I'm going to sub one out, that one's gone.
Okay. And
it's
last,
at home. It is at home.
Mm-hmm.
And they've lost 5 straight. At home.
At home. Dating back to last season as well.
Yep. So I'm done. I rode the Ravens until they burnt me. They burnt me this week.
Well, they burnt you on an over. They didn't burn you in a line.
Yeah, but I feel like, the gods are saying, Jim, you got a big slate. Stand away.
Well, I can't disagree with that. And in Monday Night Football, Raiders at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 7.5 over under 51.5. Raiders.
I hate both those teams. That's no thank you.
Raiders turning the corner. Not to say they win, but I think this is a close game. I think it's a field goal game. Raiders plus 7.5 hammer.
Good for you.
I don't hate that pick, the Raiders plus 7.5, but I think I'm going to stay away completely from that one.
Yuck.
Which finishes the NFL slate, which brings us to our best bets. We'll stay in that same order. Alex, Jim, me. I don't know if you have things to figure out here, Alex.
We should probably go Jim, Muff, Alex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
I'm going to take Utah against UCLA minus 3.5. I'm going to take UNC money line against Miami. I'm going to take Ohio State to cover.
Ooh, he's doing it.
I'm going to take Kansas State minus 2 against Iowa State. I'm going to take Maryland -3.5 against Purdue. I'm going to take Tennessee -3 against LSU. Taking the Chargers -2.5 against the Browns. I'm taking my Lions +3.5 against the Patriots. Taking the 49ers -6.5 against the Panthers. I'm taking the Jaguars -7 against the Texans. And I'm taking the Vikings -7 against the Bears for a total of 11 picks.
So clearly just going against the rules that we set.
Jim.
Yeah.
Not that this matters, but Muffneck says you don't even have enough money to fund all those picks.
Are you sure, Muffneck?
Muffneck's pretty sure. Muffneck was okay with it, but Muffneck just wants to let you know.
Muffneck, I will throw some more money in the coffer.
No, Muffneck's okay. We'll figure out the details later.
Okay.
just for awareness.
We're going wild, Muffneck.
Muffneck's having a vision.
Yes. All right. My best bets for the week: Iowa State to cover at Michigan State, 26.5. Maryland -3.5 versus Purdue. Illinois -3.5 versus Iowa. Vikings to cover 7 against Bears. Commanders plus the points 2.5, taking on the Titans, hosting the Titans. Chargers to cover 2.5 versus the Browns. 49ers to cover 6.5 versus the Panthers. And the Raiders plus the points 7.5 versus the Chiefs in Monday Night Football action.
I am going to stick. First of all, that was a big slate for you, Muff.
You got 8 bets there?
8. That's what I did last week.
Okay, I'm going with 8 as well because 8 worked for me last week. And I felt
You
good about
literally have a shit ton on your list.
those at the end are not. I chose not to take them. They're just there. Just don't delete them. Just leave them.
Okay.
But my best.
That means you're gonna bet them later.
They're ones that if I'm doing well, I might look at and be like, "Oh, I like that." Let it
Why,
be.
why did I like this? Ooh, nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a reminder for me. So, my actual best bets, my 8 best bets are Tennessee -3 at LSU, Kansas State at Iowa State, Kansas State -2, Iowa at Illinois, Iowa +3.5, and UNC at Miami UNC +3.5. And then in the NFL, I'll take the Jags -7 versus the Texans, the 49ers -6.5 at the Panthers, the Eagles -5.5 at the Cardinals, and the Lions +3.5 at the Patriots.
Let's go, Lions. Let's
Riding with the
go.
Lions.
Hey, I hope it hits for you. I really do.
I mean, this is the week where it could break us.
That's also true. All right. So our best bets brings us into the specialty picks. I think we've got one of these figured out. The Mike Allstott hit stick pick of the week.
Kapow, pow, pow.
I got ice in my mouth.
What?
I had your back, buddy.
What? Where's the handle? I believe 49ers is the pick.
That is the pick.
49ers -6.5 at the Panthers is the lock
Yep.
of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll get back on the winning track there. The Neil Brown risky pick of the week.
UNC money line?
Yeah, we need the sound effects, buddy.
Moneyline dog.
Moneyline Doge. You guys are both on UNC?
UNC.
But-
I mean, I do not have anything to offer to this.
The
But
Lions.
they
Aside
weren't
from-
a dog.
The
Yes, they are.
Lions.
No?
The UNC is a dog, Jim.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
not-
I was
they're-
reading that the wrong way.
They're not the favorite.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I have to offer from my slate is potentially the Commanders, but I know that you two are not on board with that, so I'm not going to try to push
I'm not
it.
taking Commanders, but I would listen to the Lions,
No, we're not doing that again.
Iowa, UNC. I'm looking at you guys. This too. Let's see.
Or we can go off the rails and just pick something totally different.
Let's stick with the UNC.
Or Patriots. They're not Patriots, they're Lions. Why did I say Lions?
I'm just looking to see if there's anything in the college world that we could talk about. If not, aside from UNC. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that I can toss up there that's worth discussing, if I'm being honest. I'll UNC money line. Let's do it.
I'll do it.
Make her happen.
The Neil Brown risky pick of the week.
Down.
North Carolina money line at Miami, Florida. Which brings us to the parlay of death. That's what it was, Alex. The parlay of death.
Yes, the parlay of death. That was it. You're right.
Ugh.
So the 49ers to cover, my 6.5 is obviously on the slate. It may whoever went first last week, I think it may be my turn.
It is your turn.
Okay. Let's take a look here. I'm going to keep it in the college world and take Ohio State to cover the big spread against Michigan State, 26.5.
I'm going to take UNC plus the points.
Right, plus 3.5, correct?
Yeah, not that money line one.
I got you.
Plus the points.
Alex? Good news is I don't think there's any spike picks that can be argued
Yeah,
in this
I
one.
mean, and he's got a ton to pick from. So
Well, unless you choose the Lions, Alex, and then we're going to talk about it. But
No,
this is your pick. This is your pick. But
so I'm torn between two, and the reason being, I don't know if I want. My gut says I want Kansas State.
what's your head say?
Well, I mean, my head. I guess my head. Here, let me rephrase it. Actually, my head says Kansas State. My gut says the Eagles because, then we'd have 2 NFL and 2 NCAA.
I'm gonna mute my mic even.
Muff, what do you think?
I think I think you specifically and me have done better in the college world. So I'm going to trust your head in this one and not your emotions and stay in the college world.
Let's do it. Kansas State -2.
That is an excellent pick.
What was the Eagles going to be if that was selected?
I was not a good pick.
All right, which means the Muff parlay of death is parlay of death. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. 49ers my 6.5 versus the Panthers.
I keep forgetting we're gonna have a sound effect come up, and that's nice.
Ohio State covering 26.5 versus Michigan State. North Carolina plus the points 3.5 taking on Miami, Florida, and Kansas State to cover 2 taking on Iowa State.
I think we should do a leaner parlay.
Should we?
I mean, I understand that, like,
Are you trying to whip out a risky baboon this early in the season?
I'm saying.
I think we need
I'm
2
saying.
weeks. I think we need 2 weeks before we get into that.
No, listen.
Risky baboons.
I think Alex has put these bets up here. And I think Alex should do a college leaner parlay.
Alex can.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me think about it, which ones I want, and I will do a college football parlay.
All right, you got to post it to the Instagram if you do it.
Totally leaner parlay, or is this all college games?
Actually, I can tell you right now what it'll be.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Memphis -3. Oh wait, is someone typing this?
Yes, I'm trying to keep up here.
Sorry. Memphis -3. OSU -26.5. Utah -3.5. And Northwestern +9.5. And Kansas +7. Everything but the Auburn pick.
A 5-team parlay.
Yep. Actually, part of me wants to just throw in the Auburn and be like, you know what?
No, come on, you've gone too far.
I mean, right now that's probably like plus 2,000-ish with 5, I'd imagine.
I think I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the Auburn one off. And the
Hey,
Kansas one.
Hey, if you hit this and I talked you into it, will you just pay Muffnack for me and make me whole again?
Make me whole again.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk
All right.
about our terms.
Muffneck may have to join next episode to bless this
There may be terms.
transaction.
All right, so we got the Alex Leaner.
It's a new situation here for everybody who wants to lean into Saturday with a full slate to be upset about at some point, I'm sure.
I am so excited. Like, I don't care about any other bets now. I don't even care about my own slate. I'm gonna be rooting for Alex's Leaner pick so hard.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the show. As always, you can tail or fade any of us. Check out our picks on Instagram at SportsGymMuff. Interact with us throughout the weekend on the Twitter at SportsGymMuff on Twitter as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, sportstuffw.com/Jim_Muff. At some point, I don't know. Alex, you might get a namesake in there. It's a whole rebranding situation. I don't know if we want to get into.
Yeah, I'm fine with plus Alex.
So Alex, we'll get there.
I like being a wild card. Wild card, bitches. Second episode, sorry.
Super wild card weekend. So when it becomes time for the Muff Parlay of Death to finally hit, is this the week? When it comes time for Neil Brown maybe to no longer be a namesake because he's fired right out of Morgantown. When Mike Allstott gets going back down the field, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, Chris Berman style. And when we all come out on top this week, 500 plus records. Lizzo tells us what?
It's about damn time.
Damn time.